Hello. Baby, it's cold outside. Man, it's cold in Florida. Who pissed off Mother Nature? It wasn't me. It is cold in Florida. What is going on? But hey, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Happy New Year. I hope everyone have a fantastic 2024. I think this year may be pretty spectacular. I think it's time. I think everyone is ready, because 2023 was, it was a bit much for many of us. So happy New Year. Hello, Renata. Happy New Year. And once again, thank you guys for joining us. And it seemed like it's been a while. It seemed like we hadn't been on air for a minute, but the holidays. So I hope everyone had a great holiday, Christmas, and so forth. So before we go any further, let me introduce my co-host who has, I'm going to keep my opinion to myself. He know I love him, but I love to make fun of him too. But he got it right this time. Mr. Gerald C. Anderson, come to the stage, my dear. I was going to do it. But I was like, you know what? New Year. Take it easy on him.
Yeah, I'm 1 for 1 with the new year now.
I know, because I'm like, woo, boy. But you had a great New Year as well, right?
I did. My son was home, and so he was home for the holidays, and we had some good times together. Now, going back to Utah.
Yeah, and you cried. I know you did.
No, I did not cry. Men don't cry.
They do cry. Oprah said they cry.
Yeah, no, he's back. He texted me today saying he had they had to let him go home early because of the snow and stuff. So I said, if you was here, you wouldn't have had no snow.
So it's not snowing there yet, Gerald?
No, it's been raining a lot though. That storm that hit y'all came up our way and dropped a lot of rain on us too. So
okay, yeah, we've been getting some bad, weather this way. So hopefully it comes back to being Florida, because this long sleeves and I'm always wear my hat, but long sleeves and turtlenecks, this is too much. This is too much. I can't do this. So, Joe, why don't you let everyone know who we have on the stage today?
We have another legendary jazz musician. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to have this man on the stage. We was chatting with him, but before we came on, and it just seems like it's such a big moment for me to be able to talk to this man. He's done so much in the music industry, so we really appreciate him stopping by and talking to us. So, without any further ado, let's bring Kirk Whalum onto the stage.
Yeah.
What's going on? Hold on. I'm running to the stage. Welcome.
That virtual stage works every time.
Yes, man. It reminds me of this thing they call, what was it called? The pandemic, where we were all, this was the stage that we had. So I'm very familiar with this stage. I know where all the back rooms are.
There you go.
But I want to know I have a question actually, Tina. You said something about this year being, I can't remember the words you used, fabulous, amazing. But
spectacular.
Okay, spectacular. Are you clairvoyant? Because I need to hang on your words, because I need this year to be spectacular.
Yes. If I say it, hold on to it, because it's going to happen. Trust me.
All right.
It's going to surprise a lot of us in good ways.
Man, that's good news.
Oh yes. Yeah. So hold on to your hat. We going for a ride.
It's my pleasure, my honor. My friends, the Albrights, said, you got to meet Gerald and Tina. You got to go and hang. And so I'm so grateful, for the invitation. Thank you.
Oh, we're grateful to have you. It's definitely an honor to have you here tonight. So we're gonna ask you a few questions, easy questions. We don't ask tough questions here.
I'm ready, man.
Yeah, the tough question would be where you got that vest from, because that vest is all. That's a tough question.
So that is actually, I'm gonna say that actually. I when I go to Japan, I bumped into this little place one time years ago called Uniqlo, unique clothing, right? So unique, UNIQLO, and I'm like, boy, I went crazy in there, did a lot of shit. I had to buy another suitcase, but then a couple of years after that, they started bringing them here. So now they're Uniqlo in New York and DC and all, a lot of places. But I love it because I buy just about everything I wear, I get from there because it's the kind of stuff that you can wear all the time.
It's pretty fancy. I like it. It's good. So you did good, Kirk. You did good.
Thank you.
All right. So why don't you start by telling us how you got started into music?
Yes, it was destiny. I knew that I was going to be playing something. My father was a pastor. He's passed away, but my mom played piano in the church and all that. And it was definitely, I was up there trying to play anything. And then, growing up in Memphis, music is it's a part of everyday life. It's blues, it's gospel. This is ground zero for the music most of us love, called soul music. People talk about Detroit, and that is awesome, right? But ask people in Detroit who know, and they'll tell you, oh no, Memphis is the Mississippi Valley and Memphis. That's where all this music incubated. And so, man, growing up here was amazing. Whether it was rock and roll or the Barcades and stuff like that. Rufus Thomas, Stax Records. Yeah. Memphis was something else, man. So yes, growing up in church and growing up in Memphis, it was going to happen. And quickly, I'll say my grandmothers both were musicians. One was a gospel singer, and the other played pipe organ. So she taught music and voice and choir. And then my uncle Wendell, I was named after him, my middle name. He was dean of music at Morehouse, right? So the Morehouse Glee Club. My other uncle Peanuts was my mentor. Gerald knows, he used to know Uncle Peanuts. He passed too, but he was an amazing saxophone player, Peanuts Whalum. And so, man, I got so much of that. Then my brother Kevin is amazing. Our son Kyle played with Kelly Clarkson until he left that gig because they moved it to New York and he didn't want to go. So he kept on with his gig with Katy Perry, plays bass. And now he's on The Voice. So he's in the band on The Voice. That's Kyle. And then my nephew Cameron plays with Bruno Mars. And my other nephew Kenneth is an artist. So, I mean, it's just a lot of Whalum. Wow.
It's a whale of
a live music family there. So, yeah, I guess it was inevitable that you were going to be in music too. So, yes. So of all of those people, who's the one that inspired you the most?
Really, my Uncle Peanuts, man. The first time I heard someone play a saxophone up close and personal was him. And Gerald will tell you this too, that when you get to hear a professional play, it's one thing that, like you and the Big Fish in the Little Pond in your junior high, whatever, and everybody like, oh man, yeah, you good. Wow. Especially at church, right? Church, they can jack you up to where you think you really doing something. He can play that horn. And then you mess around and hear a professional play. And you're like, oh, that's how it sounds. Not like on records, but up close and personal. And that was my Uncle Peanuts, and that the rest is history.
Wow. Okay.
Oh wow.
And he played with Nat King Cole, by the way.
Amazing.
He played saxophone with Nat King Cole, and then the rest of his career was basically playing piano and singing piano bars. Dave Koz loved him. That was like his favorite musician.
Okay.
Oh, I love Dave Koz too. Yeah, he's another one. So before I get to my question, I just want to remind everyone who's listening and chiming in that if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to send us a message and share your questions with Mr. Whalum, and we can just make this show entertaining even more so. Yes. So my question is, with musicians, I always find that they play more than one instrument. What other instruments do you play?
I was just looking to see if I have my flute here, but the only other instrument I play is the flute. I'm so in awe of Gerald. I mentioned him again because he's one of my best friends in the world. But Gerald Albright, is a guy who plays bass just like he plays saxophone. And those are totally different category of instruments, right?
Yes.
I play tenor primarily, but then I play soprano sax, and then flute is my other instrument, and I'll be practicing that later tonight because that's a very jealous instrument. It's like, oh no, you don't spend time with, oh, you gonna do that? I'm done. I'm not gonna give you no sound.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. You say that. So you feel that instruments have attitudes as well.
Oh man, the flute is very sedity.
I've never heard that, but I love it. I love that.
So you had a comment there. Someone wants you to know they love
Thank you, Nandra. I appreciate that. I got a new record coming out in May, Nandra. I just need you to know. It's called Epic Cool.
Nandra.
Epic Cool is the name of it. I wish I could talk more about it now, but I'm so excited. But I hate that.
You can talk about it when we have you back on.
Yeah,
so.
That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah. So what made you feel like, you wanted to take this music career further than, you probably didn't think you was going to want to do, I guess? Like, what made you feel like, I want to take this, far?
Right. So part of it was just, hearing great musicians. I was inspired by, people like Spyro Gyra and Ronnie Laws and, people like, in fact, I went to Texas Southern HBCU, and that's where Wilson Felder, the Crusaders, Joe Sample, Ronnie Laws, Hubert Laws, Eloise Laws, they all went to that school before me. And so that really whet my appetite for really doing it for real. And, it's all I've ever wanted to do. I remember when I was in college, I had a job for basically one day. We call it a real job. I was going to work at a department store. I went to the first day of training, started learning the cash register. That's what they used to call it back then. And then that night I had a gig at the prom somewhere way out in Texas, and had a wreck on the way back, totaled the car, broke my nose. And so that I never worked that real job. So I've only played music my whole life.
Oh, wow. Now that's interesting.
And put 4 kids through college, and we moved to Paris. We had all of our 4 kids living in Paris and going to them expensive schools there, and all the stuff that I've done. I look back, my wife and I look back and say, my soul look back and wonder how I got over.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty awesome, because I don't think I've known any musicians that we've that we know personally or that we've interviewed that was the only thing they've done. They always done something prior to. So that's really interesting. I like that. Okay, so are any of your children in the music industry?
Well, my son Kyle he played with Kelly Clarkson, but now he's playing on The Voice, and he still plays some with Katy Perry. They did a residency in Vegas. Katy did, for the longest time, and so he was doing both those gigs at the same time. But he's the rest of them have their other things. Like that's the thing about music in particular. It's like ministry. My father's a minister. Both my brothers are ministers. I have a seminary degree, and I am a minister of sorts, but I don't pastor or anything like that. So, it picks and chooses, it doesn't go throughout the whole line,
Right. Yeah, that's true. But that's pretty good too. I think we have a question here.
Yeah, it says, any collaboration with trumpet players?
So I played in a band called BWB for quite a while, with Norman Brown and Rick Braun, one of the finest trumpet players out there. And loved it. Love both those brothers to this day. Rod McGaha is another guy. He lives in Nashville. He's from Chicago. Rod McGaha, and I play with a lot. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Not recently, to answer your question, brother.
Okay. So
and what's the next question we have?
I think it's what is one of the most inspiring? I think it means songs.
Songs, right? One of my most inspiring songs. Or songs that inspire me that's kind of like know, right?
Yeah. I would say something that inspire you.
Okay, all right. So, man, anything by Stevie Wonder. Jeez, it's too much. I love Brazilian music. When I lived in Paris, I didn't really have any music gigs. I was just over there living because I speak French and I wanted to really get my French together. But I was playing with a Brazilian band over there. And so I really began to love. There's a whole lot of Brazilians in Paris, close to 2 million, and man, I love that music. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know who Scotty Barnard is. I see that question. Sorry.
Yeah.
I need to know who that is.
Oh, Sheldon McCart.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Sorry about
okay.
that. There's so many great
But
musicians out here, and you can't know them all. But maybe
yeah, and this is true. So with you having so many multi collaborations, I mean, with the Brazilians and living in Paris, like, do you think that has some type of ingredients in the music that you kind of
Oh,
put
absolutely,
together in a sense?
absolutely, especially as a songwriter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people introduce me as Grammy-winning saxophonist, but actually, I'm a Grammy-winning songwriter. Like, I don't have a Grammy for playing the saxophone yet, maybe someday, but but my songwriting definitely is informed by and inspired by all the music I heard, African music in particular. I spend a lot of time in Africa, and then the music of the diaspora, right, of Brazil in particular.
Yes.
And Cuba and oh my goodness. There's so much amazing world music, right?
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of your skills and one of your one of the ability that you have to still be, how they say it, relevant.
Yeah. So
Because
that's a
of
big
your
deal.
diversity. Yes.
Yeah, that's a big deal, Tina, because I think of certain artists, and I feel like they have done a great job of sort of identifying who they are and staying on that path and just being, right down the middle of that road. I have struggled with that because I had too many other interests, musically, and I want to dabble and then dabble and dabble. Because I think it's like catnip to a creative to to experience all those other things, and whether it's language, I speak Spanish, I speak French. I have always wanted to be in those spaces in ways that are relevant, as opposed to always being the same thing. I am a gospel saxophone player. I mean, when I work with Quincy Jones, for instance, he basically heard that right out the bat, and he is like a chef. Like, he hears what spicy wants. Then he's going to put you in there, and he basically go take a break, and you do what it is he calls you to do. And so for me, I know what that is. I'm like, I love Jesus, and it comes out when I play. But but it's just those other things that I have pursued.
Yeah, I can definitely tell from the music that I listen to from you, because it's definitely a feeling of, it just sparks up certain feelings in you, and I think it comes from your diversity, which I think is awesome. That is
Man,
so awesome.
I have had the joy and privilege of recording a series called The Gospel According to Jazz, and that was one of those records I got this Grammy for. But there was a song on one of them written by my favorite all-time musician, period, and that's Jonathan Butler, and he wrote a song called "Falling in Love with Jesus."
Oh yeah,
that song was global.
Yeah,
and
love that song.
It
so
still
that's an
is.
example of that's an example of being inspired by musicians from other. Obviously, he's from South Africa, so
Right.
yeah.
Wow, that's just something. What would be your, well, Joe, you have a question, because I don't want to keep talking. I told you got to stop me.
What's your creative process like? How do you envision this song, and how do you get to the finished product?
Yeah, so it varies, Gerald. I'll say that, for instance, I'm working on a new Gospel According to Jazz. This will be chapter 5, and this one I'm starting with clips or audio video from old like slave work songs, and songs that or that come from straight from Africa, like West Africa or stuff like that, and where you take that as your source material, and then you write from that. You take that and you grow your own little flower from that. And to me, man, that's just like, I could do that, all day. And so that's one of the ways that I work, is that I have a seed or something that inspires me to try to do something different with it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Tina?
Well, I was gonna, ask something similar to that, because I know, again, with us just interviewing so many musicians, they have to stay mentally balanced in a sense, especially with the music industry being the way it is now, which because you've been in it for so long, you probably can see the difference. How do you or what is it you do to just keep yourself balanced, mentally, to do the music that you do?
Yes.
And that feeds your soul.
Right. So I think that, your music should, emanate from who you are, your identity. Right. And, I am a man who is in love, as we say, vertically and horizontally. I'm in love vertically with Jesus. Like he is like just fills me up and pours out of me. And then I'm in love horizontally, right? Human to human, with a girl named Ruby. And she, when I walk from here, my studio, over to the house, which is about 13 steps, I know that I have that, warmth and that acceptance that is unconditional. And so, if I'm having a great day, that's great. If I've had a really bad day, it doesn't matter. Like, so that part is, I truly believe, Tina, that what people hear in my music is that there's a, kind of being settled. And again, that's not to say that every creative has to be paired up with somebody. No, but in my case,
yes,
that has been the magic, is being in love and being able to just, let that pour out of you. Your self-giving love. Again, this is what Jesus teaches us: self-giving love. That's the thing that makes music incredible.
Yeah, I love that. And that's why you've been married for 51 years.
Married for 43, but I met her when I was 15, so that's 50 years.
50
that's
years.
a long time. Whichever way you want to mathematically make that happen, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And
it feels like a month to me.
I love it.
So we don't have a lot of time with Kirk because he's got another appointment to go to. So we want to make sure we get at least one more question in, and it's one is what is your most popular song?
Yes, I see that, and I saw that, and I went to Spotify to find out for myself. And apparently, that I see here, All I Do. So I recorded a version of Stevie's All I Do, featuring the great Wendy Moulton. And folks who follow The Voice know that Wendy Moulton, she didn't win, but she was the one that came and basically kind of gave a workshop to all the judges on that show. She just opened her mouth and they all were like, okay, I'm just done. Wendy Moulton is from Memphis, and so we kind of grew up together. So she and I have a platinum record in South Africa for that song, All I Do, and I see on Spotify it's close to 7 million streams on that.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, we want to definitely bring you back. I know we talked about that.
Absolutely. Yes.
I hope so. So I mean, quickly I'll say, I'll just push ahead to the new record and say it's called Epic Cool, produced by the great Greg Manning. And I know a lot of these folks are fans of his. He's a brother from Switzerland, and he has an incredible music. He's very much on Watercolors and Spotify and all that. Greg Manning, but he produced this record, and I swear it's the best project I feel like I've done in my career. So I'm very excited. It comes out in May.
All right. So yeah, we'll do that.
I can't wait.
We'll talk to more about your music, and then we definitely want to talk about the 50 years that you've been with your wife.
Oh my gosh.
We definitely want to talk about too, and hopefully, maybe, I don't know, we can have both of y'all on.
Yes, and have the Albrights.
Yeah.
Right. So, like the four of us is like a comedy skit. Y'all can't take it. I mean, we're too silly. So I don't know if that's gonna work. But then Ruby, she's definitely not. I mean, so Glennis Albright is like, she is a fire hydrant. She's very much extroverted. Ruby is the complete opposite of that. So, she's like, I dive. That's a camera. I'm not down.
They're like, we'll show you a picture. That'll be it. This is us.
Yeah, we definitely want to have a show where we talk about the longevity of people who have been married for a long time.
That's a great idea, Joe. I'm down with it. And she would do it. I mean, I can convince her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you stopping by.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
My pleasure, man. But much success on the show. It's all about life, and so I'm grateful I could be a little part of it.
All right.
Yes, we love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We'll be in touch.
God bless you guys.
Right. God bless you too.
Kirk Whalum. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we definitely have to have him on again when he has his new album come out.
Yeah. So we sorry we couldn't get all y'all questions in, but he will be back on the show, and we will publicize and let you know when that time comes. So hold on to those questions.
That's true. He's a busy man. He's a busy man.
He will be back. So it was good to have him.
Absolutely.
We do still have our positive media moment, so stay tuned for Buff Patterson. We bring her to the stage, so let's see what she's talking about today.
All right. Here we go, Buff. Hey, Buff.
Hey, well, I have something amazing to say. First, I wanted to say one thing. Is that
why are you yelling?
Thank you. I mean, he's amazing. Was he not amazing? And a man that loves God?
Yes.
What? I truly enjoyed that interview. I'm sure all our listeners did too. And today, I'm bringing something special and spicy for today's Lyfe Positive Media Moment.
There we go.
I don't know if you've heard of this lady. Her name is Emmeline King. Emmeline King is the first female Black designer for Ford.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She won her designs won Car of the Year for the 1994 Mustang. And this lady, let me tell you, you ever heard of Destiny? This lady was 5 years old. Her father gave her a Wonder Horse, which was a Mustang. And a few years later, he took her to a Christmas party at the Design Center for Ford. And she decided that I'm going to work for Ford. And through all her studies and graduating from college and going to design school, she wouldn't even interview with their company unless it was Ford.
Oh, wow.
And yes, she's amazing. And she was actually got inspired by the redesign of the 1964 Mustang. She worked on the 83 Mustang, the 2000 Thunderbird, the 89 Thunderbird. She's actually designed cars in Europe.
Oh, look at him. Oh,
this lady, I mean, I love inspiring stories like this, especially for women that think they can't. And I think the most amazing thing that I took away from it is her design. She said, I'm making cars for women. So the knobs are smooth. And when you sit in, you don't split your skirt. So her design, she said, I always wanted to make my designs with a female touch. Can you imagine if everybody thought about a female touch car?
Oh, so, I love that.
Yes. So Emmeline King, and her father actually worked for Ford. He was a fabrication specialist. And so I guess Ford stays in the family. And actually 1 week before her 25th anniversary of Ford, the motor industry went out, and now she is writing books and trying to create programs for little girls, STEM programs for little girls. That to know you too can design interiors for cars. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I like that story. I like that one because
Emmeline King. This woman is a trailblazer.
Wow. And Nandra says that she just found out about that last week. So that's interesting. And it's funny how we just don't hear many stories like this often,
You know what? I find that our history is so rich, and that if we know our history, we would be popping that collar, because we've had so many.
In mine.
Right, pop them, just pop them, pop them.
See, you went out of hand. See,
pop it. I'm so wild. That's to me. And I don't know if I reemphasize this. The 1994 Car of the Year Mustang, it won Car of the Year. Come on.
Oh,
this
see,
is amazing. Yeah.
It's always a woman, I tell you.
Always a woman.
Always a woman.
Well, thank you, Fluff, for that. For this.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that a lot. I like that, Buff.
Appreciate
Buck Patterson, we thank you once again for bringing the goods to us, educating us. So, pop that collar. Lord knows we gotta wear them now. This is cold in Florida. It's cold in Florida.
Cold in Florida. But next we got we want to play this poetry corner again. You know, Samantha, she did a great job, and so we're gonna play that one more time.
And before you do that, Gerald, I want to remind everyone I'm gonna remind you a couple of things. One, listen to the radio station, Lyfe Radio. Listen to the station. We have great shows that come on. We have wonderful music that we're playing as well. So again, listen to Lyfe Radio. We can definitely use your support in that. So listen to it as often as possible as you can, at work, in the car, what have you. So do that. And also with the show, please like us. Okay. You have to like us. Like us. Don't just keep us to you, all for yourself, and share. Okay. And of course, you know about the magazine. So subscribe.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of
speaking of magazine.
Yeah, Barrett Brown Clark is on the cover.
Oh my goodness.
Tuesday comes out Tuesday. Go, so make your orders now.
Yes, Marion, the signs. I had to show my signs again. But yes, that interview, me and Gerald interviewed this I say young lady because she is just powerful. Absolutely love it. So order the magazine and read the article because you're going to love it. So
yeah, it was a very emotional. Very emotional interview, so you got to read that article. You got to get it. Subscribe to the magazine, buy the printed copy. It was great.
I was crying. Gerald was crying. She was crying.
I wasn't crying. I wasn't crying.
It's definitely a great article, though.
So. All right. So let's do the Volta V Poetry Corner.
And this one is called At Lucifer. Shut up! You know what? You a punk. You a weirdo. Stupid. Goofy. Lame. Cause you're trying to confuse me since you're losing. A lost dame. You sought me. Arrows aim. And I see him. Throwing shade? Oh no, you salty, cause my father reigns, and you wanna be him. But you could never. You don't even know how to properly keep those you tethered, you entice, and allure us sinking deeper in sin just to pleasantly watch us fall, then abandon us at the end. Hey, don't be bitter, cause the only authority you have is to slither through footholds and other crevices left open. It ain't my fault you got greedy and wanted to be the one I put my hope in. Nah, walking with you, broken, following quote-unquote dope trends. This cycle you've got me roped in breaks me more each day. I'm choking on pain-filled tears that leave me unspoken. This dance we do is in like slow motion. We whimsically waltz down this slippery slope, and I read the wider the gate, the more destruction of this beautiful soul that shouldn't want just anyone to hold reminiscing on when we danced. My steps, they felt stolen. But I was still enjoying the inebriant escape. We outside, time to tote 10 shots of that Royal Brown was how we coped in. I continuously allowed your thievery to take a toll in my heart till I was done drowning in your empty ocean that leads to a trench, a seabed of spiritual corrosion. But walking with God, I'm broken. Only difference is I'm chosen, meticulously made with heavenly cells that are interwoven. The way he formed me is marvelous. It is well known, and the masterpiece that is me no longer competes with those. I'm scrolling through the valley. He is still with me. My helper leads me to where I'm going. When I'm heavy laden, he says, come to me. My burden is light. Easy is my yoke, friend. He even helps me navigate my vacillate emotions. So it don't matter, good or bad day, I'm still flow in on grace, peace, and mercy. My pockets full, they swollen. See, I'm juiced because I know my king is soon returning. I talk to him daily. He said, you don't want this smoke, and now you messed up because with me, he don't play. He don't joke. Generations will be influenced by his power at work in my life. That's what he spoke, and you wanted that crash to be my end, but God said semicolon. Like I said before, you a punk. You a weirdo. Stupid. Goofy. Lame. You're not gonna confuse me because you losing. And all this shame that you've tried to consume me with, I'm choosing to play the game. Run the race for my God, for my blueprint. Thank you.
I can watch her all day. I love her. And we're going to have her on the show too soon.
We are going to have her on the show. Yeah. She is coming up. So she's a nice person. I had a chance to talk to her, interview her because she's in the magazine.
Yeah.
Same magazine with Real Brown Clark. So you read about her too. So
yeah, see? We just all over the place.
Bringing the magazine to life. So
thank you, Nandra. And I want to apologize to everyone that heard my dog barking in the background. I couldn't get to her, so she was outside, and she probably didn't know where the doggy door was because she's a little senile now. So she probably couldn't find her way in. So sorry, guys.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all we have for
all
tonight.
Right. So thank you everyone once again for, joining us and chiming in with the questions, and great questions too. So we really appreciate that. So tune in for our next show. We have a great show in 2 weeks.
January 24th.
24th, we have another great show. So hopefully you guys will tune in. And again, listen to the radio station. You want to hear certain music? Let us know. Send us a message. We're all over social media, so we can be reached.
Right.
Well, if you like to hear something, let us know. We'll see what we can do.
And we're also going to have a brand new show coming on this Sunday evening from, I believe it's 6 to midnight, the Slow Jams show.
And that's going to be pretty good, yeah.
Everybody loves good slow jam music.
Man, yeah. I'll probably be asleep, but I'll be listening.
Okay.
I go to bed early. So my stomach is growling. So I once again thank you guys for tuning in and joining us, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.